What's approaching the supreme moment? Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but since my all-time favorite unit in Dokkan Battle recently got an upgrade and now has the greatly increased attack, or a Kaioken mechanic as part of the super attack, I might as well test this out. Now, similar to the format in the past, we'll start off with the base and continue to let the super attack or attack level climb. So right now it's 145,000, and over time you're gonna see it climb up substantially. So again, as I always say, this is a very unrealistic setting. It's more or less a test or experiment, so to speak. So take it as that and nothing more. All right, this is always interesting to do. It's a lot of fun. So I figured a lot of people enjoy this too, so I figured I'd go ahead and do this. So attack wise, base I think was about 1.2 million roughly, and then this is, I believe, the second. So you'll see the first couple of super attacks just to get an idea of how much of an increase you see with each super attack, and then we'll skip toward the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. I tested it up to about 100 super attacks, so it took a lot of time to do this. So about 1.68 immediately with the second super attack. However, this is when Kid Buu started to link up with him on the rotation, so there is quite a bit of an increase from the passive support from Kid Buu. Okay, so this is going to be the third super attack, and again, we're just going to continue to climb super attack after super attack and keep stacking and see how high it'll actually go. I did give this guy level 15 criticals and not too much focus on additional attacks, so the increases are a little bit slower than they could be. Had I focused more on additional attack, it could have definitely triggered some additionals with potential supers, but when I actually use this unit in battle, it's more important for me to have critical levels, so that's kind of why you're seeing it that way. So we did start off at about 1.2 million, and as you can see, it's already at 1.9 million, and this is probably maybe like the third or fourth super attack, so not many supers have triggered yet. And you'll see in the later part of the video it climbs to a ridiculous amount. The other thing to note is also that he only gets supreme damage and not immense. So the output itself, I mean, just keep in mind, this at this point is somewhat still realistic, but even with supreme damage, he's able to hit for a pretty decent amount. And his defense is also pretty good, since he gets a 90% boost toward both attack and defense. So finally hit the 2 million mark, about 2.2 million right now, hitting for about 2.2, so without criticals, around that same amount. And you can see how many turns have passed based on the transforming Frieza unit already in the Golden Frieza form. I don't even remember how long this actually took to get to a total of about 100 super attacks. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a few hours. It wasn't too bad. I actually enjoy running tests like this, so I didn't mind at all, but it did take some time for this. Alright, so I can't remember exactly what super attack number is for this one, and I'm honestly not going to keep track really, but I can refer. I actually do have a data sheet that I've been using to keep a log of the amount of super attacks. So I think the last one was super attack number 10. And already hitting for about 7 million, so it climbs up pretty quickly. There are definitely quite a few units that do have the Kaioken mechanic built into their super attack or even passive skill, but I've done a few of those, so if you haven't seen any of these and this is your first time watching, definitely check the videos out and you know, you'll probably enjoy it if you're enjoying this one. So as you can see, you're looking at a couple million increases already, so quite a boost, and you know, the stacking effect is no joke. So about 5.15 million already. That is super attack number 29. So about 29 supers in, he's, you know, got the potential or attack potential for about 5.2 million. And you can see the difference. I mean, take a look at the other two units, Kid Buu and Angel Glow and Frieza, and you can see the difference in, you know, output. This is 6.5 or 6.6 million. That's super attack number 40. So it took about 40 rotations with perfect cell in to get to that level. The next one should be, I think, super attack number 42. Yeah, 7.6 million. Yeah, quite a bit of an increase. Obviously, this isn't realistic. I mean, it is really, really unrealistic. But, you know, like I keep saying, it's always fun to run these types of experiments just to see, you know, take full advantage of the Kaioken mechanic and, you know, see how high it'll actually go. So I get this question every time I do this kind of video. What exactly is the Kaioken mechanic, or, you know, stack effect? It's basically for any unit that has a super attack or passive ability to either you know, greatly increase their attack or increase attack without any limitations on turns or, you know, whatever. So as long as it says, you know, greatly or increase attack, then it's an infinite amount. And there are a decent amount of units that have that ability. The ones that come to mind is the Agility Kaioken Goku, Tech Kaioken Goku, the Intelligence Ultimate Gohan, Strength version of Ultimate Gohan as well. Dispo has a passive where it increases as well. And there are quite a few others. And like I said, I've tested them, a couple of those, so definitely make sure to check that out if you haven't seen it already. So 10 million in potential output, starting to really climb there. But that is with super attack number 78, and it is worth noting, starting off with super attack 54 and upwards, a really funny thing occurred, which is basically it no longer continued to increase attack levels based on each super. So you'll kind of see this here in a second, but the damage potential or attack potential is stagnant. It's pretty much remains flat. Now, depending on if Big Bad Bosses is active or not, that can fluctuate the numbers a little bit, but there's a consistent, you know, percentage, or there was up until the 54th, I guess, super attack. About 10.4% with the Big Bad Bosses not active, and then about 11.6% when Big Bad Bosses was active. The difference is basically, you know, like 143,000 roughly per super attack increases toward attack when Big Bad Bosses was active. When it wasn't, it was about 128,000. So there was a very high level of consistency up until about number 54 in super attack. So after that, things got a little bit weird, and not quite sure as to why that had occurred. But come to find out, I did some research after recording, and from what I saw, I think it was on Dokkan Wikipedia, these infinite stack abilities are active until 99 turns have passed. So that actually makes a lot of sense, because up until 54, there was a very consistent level of attack increases. But after that, there was pretty much none. Now, like I said, depending on the activation of Big Bad Bosses or not, it tends to switch up the numbers a little bit. The most common numbers that I tended to see was like 9,187,998, and then when Big Bad Bosses wasn't active, it was about 9,331,336. So definitely pretty interesting. I guess you learn something new every day, even in Dokkan Battle where I played close to 3 years. I mean, that's the great thing about it, right? Is you always learn something from it, and that's crazy considering it is a mobile game. So again, after about Super Attack 54, things were pretty much stagnant from what I tested, and based on what I read online, it does cut off at 99 turns, so that kind of makes sense because this is a rotation and then you have the other rotation, so total that up to 99.54 is a little bit more than that, but it makes perfect sense to me.